It's being reported that Anthony Edwards would like to pay all the child support for his daughter that he is abandoning right up front. Assuming that it'd be about $5,000 a month, it would be $1,080,000. That would be the total over 18 years. And I got to tell you, I don't like it. If you've been around this channel, you know that I think that kids should be raised in a two-parent household. It's already bad enough that we have all of these split households, what they call them, blended families. It's already bad enough. Kids should be raised with the parents that gave birth to them, that brought them into this world. But every situation doesn't work out. You know, people have a falling out situations or relationships end up devolving, and people, they just don't want to be together. That happens. And I'm not saying that if that's your situation, if you and this person just don't get along, you don't agree, that you have to stay there. I'm not of that mindset. But the ideal situation is the two people that brought the kid into the world will be together. Now, Anthony Edwards is trying to set a precedent where he pays all of their child support right up front. He already said that he didn't want anything to do with the daughter. Her name is Aisha, I believe. She's about 4, 5, 6 months by now. He said he didn't want anything to do with the little girl. The mom, she tried to move to California. Him and his lawyer said, hey, she's trying to make this move so she can get more child support. The judge out in California said, you got to take it back to Georgia. I have nothing to do with this case. I'm not sure why you moved out here. It looks shady. Go back to Georgia. Let them figure it out. So now they're still in this not a custody battle because he doesn't want the kid, but they're still in this child support battle about what she's going to get. And it's being proposed that Anthony Edwards may be seeking to just pay all of his child support up front and then never have to deal with the kid, never have to talk to the mom. It's kind of messed up. It's not kind of messed up. It's really messed up. For one, over the next 18 years, the expenses of the kid are going to change. That means if you give $1 million to the mom today and say, hey, make this last over the next 18 years, she may be able to make it work. But the expenses of that kid as they go to school or as they develop and they need clothes and have activities and get into sports and all this stuff, those things are going to cost more and more. So unless that money is being placed in a trust and it's being invested and it's being siphoned out $5,000 a month for the kid, I don't agree with it. Additionally, how did you just walk away from a kid that you brought into this world? And you asked for this kid to be brought into the world, not by you telling the woman that you wanted to have the kid, but by your actions. You asked for this kid to be here by sleeping with that woman unprotected. She's not your wife. She wasn't your girlfriend. She was just a shorty you were dealing with. And if you didn't want to deal with having a kid, you have to be more careful about the actions that you take. It's on her. It's absolutely on the woman as well. But it's on Anthony Edwards because you would think that being a star, you see these things happen with a multitude of different athletes. And because they happen on such a frequent basis, you should know better. You should know that athletes, entertainers, rappers, whatever your profession is, when you have a lot of money, when you have a lot of clout, there are going to be women that are coming after you, trying to attach themselves to you. So you knew what the possibilities were. And even with that knowledge, you still decided to go have unprotected sex with her. And now you want to turn your back on a kid that has nothing to do with the relationship between you and her mom. That kid is going to grow up. She's going to look around. She's going to say, where's my dad? Regardless of if the mom remarries or if the mom gets married to somebody else or she has a stepdad, she's going to look around and say, where's my dad? Why didn't he want me? So the person that suffers is the child because you're being selfish about the fact that you don't want to raise the kid with this woman because you told her to have an abortion. But it's your fault that she's pregnant in the first place. It's you guys' fault, the mom's fault and your fault, because you decided to lay down with her knowing she wasn't your wife, right? I believe in marry before you carry, regardless of if you feel that type of way. That's your own personal opinion. I think you should marry before you carry so you don't end up in a situation like this. So he didn't marry her. That wasn't his exclusive girlfriend. And he decided to have unprotected sex with her. It sounds a lot like he's being super irresponsible and you don't get to absolve yourself from your mistakes just by saying, oh, I don't want the kid. I told you to get rid of it. There is an argument, right, where people say, hey, how come the woman gets to say, I want to have the kid, or the woman gets to give the kid up for adoption? If he was an active father, the woman, this is an entirely different scenario, but we're going to walk through this. If the woman was saying, hey, I want to give the kid up for adoption, he signed a birth certificate, he would have the opportunity to be a parent. They couldn't give the kid up to foster care just because the mom said so if she doesn't want to have any legal rights to the kid. So the argument that, like, oh, women can give the kid up for adoption if they want to, it's not, there's some context missing there. Okay, she could have an abortion. If she has an abortion, then the child is still in her womb. It's her body, her choice. I believe in that. I believe in a woman's body, her choice. Now, we're past all of that. The kid is here. He must be on a birth certificate if he's fighting over whether or not he should have custody and whether or not he should be paying child support. So we're past all of the paternity issues. I believe he did take a paternity test and confirmed it was his kid. So we're past that issue. Now we're on the issue of you abandoning your kid. You said you don't want the kid. You know, it is what it is. Unfortunately, it's a detriment to the kid, and it's a bad look on you, and it's a play into the stereotypes that Black fathers don't hang around. And additionally, you want to pay the child support up front so that you don't have to have any contact with not only the kid, but the mom over the next 18 years. And I got to say, I just don't agree with it. If what's being reported is factual, if he's trying to pay $1,080,000 up front, which would be $5,000 a month, and walk away from the mom and the kid and not have any communication, I think it's messed up. Once again, like, if a judge rules in his favor, then, you know, it is what it is. That's the court of law. They know the law better than I do. But I think it's a dangerous precedent where you tell people with all the money and power, hey, if you just front load all of your payments, then you don't have to worry about being a present father. You can sign away your rights, pay the money, you know, pay the court fees, and then absolve yourself from any responsibility of having kids. We can't say that we want accountability for women. We can't say that we want accountability for women sleeping with, you know, Pookies and Ray Rays and all of this stuff, whatever people want to call them, but then turn around and absolve athletes and rich people, Elon Musk, Anthony Edwards, Nick Cannon, Cam Newton, all these people that I've talked about on this channel before. We can't absolve them of their parental right as well. It can't be both ways. You either want people to be responsible with their body and with their choices, or you don't. And as a grown man to another grown man, this is not the move. But like I said, it's his choice. It's up to the courts what they're going to allow him to do. And he don't want the kid. So this is Anthony Edwards. It's being reported that he wants to front load all of his child support payments, $1,080,000, which will equal to $5,000 a month over the next 18 years, and wash his hands and absolve himself from any parental responsibility with the daughter that was brought into the world on October 2024. If you like the video, subscribe to me back here for the next conversation. And if you have something to say it down in the comments. This is the place for discourse. Till next time. Peace.